The phone rang at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night in March. I was sitting at my kitchen table, cleaning my old service weapon like I did every Tuesday since retiring from the Dallas Police Department 3 years ago. 30 years on the force teaches you habits that stick. When I saw the unknown Texas number flash across the screen, something in my gut told me to answer. "Bobby?" The voice was barely a whisper, shaky, desperate. "Bobby, it's me. It's Ronnie. My name's Bobby Mitchell. I'm 58 years old. And I haven't heard from my twin brother Ronnie in 8 years. Not since his wife Sarah died and we had that ugly fight about his son Marcus. I told him the boy was poison. Always had been. He told me to mind my own business and stay out of his family. So I did. Ronnie? Jesus, where are you calling from? It's almost midnight. I'm locked in the barn shed behind the house. Marcus has kept me here for 3 years, Bobby. He's planning to kill me next week. I heard him talking about it with Dr. Rodriguez. The words hit me like a sledgehammer to the chest. My brother's voice was broken hollow, nothing like the strong man who'd served 2 tours in Vietnam beside me. Slow down. Tell me exactly what's happening. After Sarah died, Marcus moved back to the ranch with his wife and little girl. Said he wanted to help me through the grief. Within a month, he'd taken my phone, changed the landline number, told everyone I wanted privacy. Then he started moving me around the house. Said I was getting confused, needed supervision. I could hear him crying now. Ronnie, who'd carried wounded soldiers through rice paddies under enemy fire, was crying like a broken child. 3 years ago, he moved me out here to the storage shed. Put an electronic lock on the door. No bathroom, just a bucket. 1 meal a day if I'm lucky. Sometimes he forgets for 2-3 days. My hands were shaking. 30 years as a cop, I thought I'd seen every kind of evil. But your own son doing this to his father? That was a new level of hell. Why now, Ronnie? What's changed? He found out about the oil rights, Bobby. Remember when Daddy always said this land would be worth something someday? Well, someday's here. The lease is worth $4.2 million. Marcus has been stealing my pension checks, my Social Security. Everything over $350,000 in the past 8 years. The math was simple. $2,400 a month pension, $1,850 Social Security. Marcus had been living high on his father's money while keeping him locked in a shed like an animal. And now he's planning to finish it, make it look like an accident. He's got a $750,000 life insurance policy on me. Dr. Rodriguez already agreed to sign the death certificate. No questions asked. What kind of accident? Gas leak. He's been messing with the propane heater in here. Loose connections, bad ventilation. Says it'll look like the old man's heart gave out from carbon monoxide poisoning. Natural causes. I stood up, already moving toward my bedroom. When's this supposed to happen? Family barbecue this Sunday. Big celebration, he says. He's making me sign papers transferring the ranch to him, all legal and proper in front of witnesses. If I don't sign, he said I've got 1 week to live after that. Who else knows about this? His wife Tracy's in on it, her mother Helen too. They've been counting the money like it's already theirs. And Sophie, that's Marcus's daughter. She's 9 years old. Sweet kid. She sometimes sneaks me water when Marcus is passed out drunk. She gave me this old cell phone when she saw him hit me last week. Sophie, a 9-year-old girl watching her grandfather get tortured by her own father. The thought made my trigger finger itch. Bobby, I'm scared. I know that makes me sound weak, but I don't know what else to do. You're the only person I could think to call, the only one who might come. Listen to me, Ronnie. You're not weak. You're a survivor, and I'm coming to get you. How? Marcus checks on me every few hours. Motion sensors around the property. He's paranoid about someone finding out. Can you get out tonight? I don't think so. But tomorrow night might work. He's got poker with his buddies, usually drinks himself stupid by midnight. I was already packing my surveillance kit. Digital cameras, voice recorders, lockpicks, spare batteries. My Glock 19 went in the shoulder holster under my jacket. I hadn't worn it in 6 months, but this wasn't a social call. Miller's gas station off Route 35, exit 247. You know it? Yeah. Daddy used to stop there for coffee when we were kids. Tomorrow night, 3 a.m. Can you make it there? I'll try. Don't try. Do it. Because after tomorrow night, we're going to switch places. What do you mean? I mean you're going to Dallas to hide out in my apartment while I go back to that ranch as you. I'm going to live in that shed. Let Marcus think he's still got control, while I gather enough evidence to bury him so deep he'll never see daylight again. Bobby, that's crazy. If he finds out you're not me, he'll kill you. Let him try. I've been waiting 30 years for someone to give me a good reason to put that boy in the ground. Legally speaking, of course. The line was quiet for a long moment. Then Ronnie's voice, stronger now. You'd really do that for me? You're my brother. Blood doesn't stop being blood just because we had words. Thank you, Bobby. I knew you'd come. Save the thanks until we nail his hide to the wall. Get some rest. Tomorrow we start evening the score. I hung up the phone and sat there for a minute, letting it all sink in. My twin brother, the man I'd shared a womb with, had been living in hell for 3 years while I sat in my Dallas apartment, feeling sorry for myself about retirement. The guilt was eating at me. But guilt wouldn't save Ronnie. Action would. I pulled out my old case files and found Detective Lisa Campbell's number. Lisa owed me favors from a dozen major cases over the years. Time to collect. Campbell here. Lisa, it's Bobby Mitchell. Bobby? Christ, what time is it? You know I'm working nights now. I need a favor. Big one. Elder abuse case, financial exploitation, conspiracy to commit murder. She was quiet for a moment. Bobby, you're retired. You can't just… My brother's life is on the line. His son's been holding him prisoner for 3 years, planning to kill him for an insurance payout. I'm going undercover to gather evidence. Jesus. Okay, what do you need? Surveillance backup. When I get enough evidence, I'll send it to you. Have the DA ready to move fast. How fast? Sunday night. Family barbecue where the kid's planning to force signatures on transfer papers. If that doesn't work, he's got a gas leak planned for the following week. Bobby, this sounds dangerous. Why not just call local PD now? With what? A desperate phone call from a man who's been declared mentally incompetent by his family doctor. They'd do a wellness check. Marcus would put on a show, and Ronnie would disappear permanently. She sighed. You're going to do this with or without me, aren't you? That's right. Fine. But you document everything. Audio, video, financial records. Build me a case that'll stick in court. Always do. And Bobby? Be careful. You're not 35 anymore. Thanks for the reminder. I spent the next day gathering my gear. Micro cameras, digital recorders, lockpicks, cash. I called my old partner Jake from narcotics, borrowed some surveillance equipment the department wouldn't miss. Told him it was for a private case, family matter. He didn't ask questions. The drive from Dallas to East Texas took 4 hours. I knew every back road in Mitchell County from growing up there. The countryside hadn't changed much. Rolling hills, pine forests, oil pumps scattered across pastures like mechanical birds pecking at the earth. I pulled into Miller's gas station at 2:45 a.m. The place was deserted except for a sleepy clerk behind bulletproof glass. I parked in the shadows near the edge of the lot and waited. At 3:10, I saw a figure stumbling across the parking lot. Barefoot, wearing what looked like pajamas, limping badly. When he got closer, I almost didn't recognize him. Ronnie had lost at least 40 pounds. His face was gaunt, cheekbones sharp as knife blades, his hair had gone completely gray, and his beard was wild and unkempt. But it was his eyes that got to me, hollow, defeated, like something inside him had died. Bobby? He peered through the darkness. Is that really you? I got out of the truck and pulled him into a hug. He felt fragile, like a bird with broken wings. I'm here, brother. I'm here. He broke down then, sobbing against my shoulder, 3 years of pain and fear pouring out all at once. I let him cry, rubbing his back like I used to when we were kids, and he'd wake up from nightmares. I can't believe you came, he whispered. I thought maybe I was dreaming. Sometimes I dream that people come to help me, but I always wake up in that shed. This isn't a dream. Come on, let's get you fed. I had a cooler in the truck with sandwiches, water, fruit. Ronnie tore into the food like he hadn't eaten in days, probably hadn't. Tell me about the setup, I said while he ate. How many people are we dealing with? Marcus, his wife Tracy, her mother Helen. Helen lives there full-time now, counts the money they steal from my accounts. Tracy works part-time at the bank in town, helps cover their tracks. What about the little girl, Sophie? Ronnie's face softened. She's the only good thing in that house. 9 years old, smart as a whip. She's the one who brings me water sometimes, sneaks me food when she can. She saw Marcus hit me last week and gave me that phone to call for help. She knows what's happening. Kids see everything, Bobby. She knows her daddy's hurting me, but she doesn't understand why. Keeps asking when I'm coming back to the house. I pulled out a notepad and started sketching the property layout. Security, motion sensors around the main approaches, game cameras on the trees near the driveway. Marcus is paranoid about someone finding out what he's doing. What about the shed? Locks, alarms, electronic keypad lock. He changes the code every few days. No alarm, but he checks on me 3 or 4 times a day, sometimes more if he's been drinking. Which is how often? Most nights. Beer during the day, whiskey after dinner. By 10 p.m., he's usually passed out in his chair. I studied the layout. The old Mitchell Ranch, 150 acres my father had bought in 1965 for $8,000, now worth millions because of the oil deposits underneath. Daddy always said this land would make us rich someday. He never imagined it would make his grandson a killer. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We swap clothes. You take my truck and drive to Dallas. I've got cash and keys to my apartment in this bag. Ronnie stared at me. Bobby, if Marcus figures out you're not me, he won't. We're identical twins, remember. I've lost some weight since retirement, and you've lost more, but in bad light wearing your clothes, I can pass. He knows my mannerisms, the way I talk. He knows a broken man who's been isolated for 3 years. I'll keep my head down, act defeated. People see what they expect to see. We went into the gas station bathroom to change clothes. Ronnie's shirt smelled like sweat and desperation. His pants hung loose on me, but that just made me look more like a man who'd been starved. Remember, I told him, stay in my apartment. Order food delivery. Don't go out. If anyone asks, you're my cousin visiting from out of state. How long? A week, maybe 2. Depends how long it takes to gather enough evidence to crucify Marcus in court. I gave him my truck keys and the bag with cash and apartment keys. There's $5,000 in there. Should be enough for whatever you need. Bobby, I don't know how to thank you. Thank me by staying alive. And by taking care of that little girl when this is over. She's going to need someone good in her life. I watched my brother drive away in my truck, then climbed into his beat-up Chevy. Time to go home and meet the devil. The Mitchell Ranch looked different in the pre-dawn darkness. I'd grown up here, knew every fence post and cattle gate, but now it felt foreign, hostile. The house my father had built with his own hands looked run down, paint peeling off the siding like diseased skin. This used to be the pride of the county. Now it looked like a crime scene. Marcus was waiting on the front porch when I pulled up in Ronnie's truck. Even in the dim light from the porch bulb, I could see he'd gotten fat since I'd seen him last. Maybe 280 pounds stuffed into a stained Carhartt t-shirt and work boots that had never seen honest work. His gut hung over his belt like a sack of flour. "Where the hell you been, old man?" he growled. Not even getting up from his chair, I kept my head down, shoulders hunched, playing the broken victim, walking. Walking where? It's 4 in the morning, couldn't sleep, just walked around. He studied me for a moment, and I thought maybe he'd seen through the deception. My heart was hammering, but I kept my breathing steady. 30 years of police work teaches you how to lie convincingly. You smell like shit, Marcus said finally. Get back to the shed, and don't wander off again. Next time I'm chaining you to the wall. The shed was even worse than Ronnie had described. 8 feet by 10 feet, concrete floor, one bare bulb hanging from the ceiling. A filthy mattress in one corner, a plastic bucket in another. The smell hit me like a physical blow. Human waste, mildew, rotting food, and underneath it all, the sweet, sick smell of despair. I forced myself to sit on the mattress and look around. This was where my brother had lived for 3 years. This concrete box with no windows, no dignity, no hope. The propane heater Marcus had mentioned was mounted on the outside wall, with a vent pipe that should have carried exhaust fumes safely away. Instead, the pipe was loose, angled wrong, deliberately damaged. Gas was seeping into the shed slowly, day by day. Not enough to cause an explosion, just enough to weaken someone over months and years. Make them sick, confused, until one morning they didn't wake up. I pulled out my micro camera and started documenting the loose vent pipe, the electronic lock on the door, the deplorable living conditions. Every detail that would hold up in court. The camera was the size of a shirt button, nearly invisible in the dim light. Around 7 a.m., I heard voices from the main house. Marcus talking to someone, probably his wife Tracy. I pressed my ear to the wall and caught fragments. Transfer papers ready for Sunday. Dr. Rodriguez confirmed he'll sign $750,000 in insurance. They were talking about killing my brother like it was a business transaction. Planning his murder over coffee and eggs. That afternoon, Marcus came to the shed with a plate of food, if you could call it that. Stale bread, a cup of watery soup that might have been chicken broth once. He shoved it through a slot in the door like I was an animal in a zoo. Eat up, old man. Got to keep your strength up for Sunday. What's Sunday? I asked, keeping my voice weak and confused. Family barbecue. Whole clan's coming over. You're going to sign some papers, make everything legal and proper. Transfer this ranch to someone who can actually take care of it. I don't understand. His face darkened. You don't need to understand, you just need to sign where I tell you to sign. That night, after the house went dark, I heard soft footsteps outside the shed. A small voice whispered, "Grandpa, Sophie, Ronnie's lifeline for 3 years." I moved to the door. "I'm here, sweetheart. I brought you crackers. Daddy's asleep so I could sneak out." A small package slid under the door. Saltines, probably from her own dinner. This kid was risking her father's anger to feed the man she thought was her grandfather. "Thank you, Sophie. That's very kind. Are you feeling better? You seem different today." Smart kid. Too smart. I'm okay. Just tired. Daddy's been talking to Dr. Rodriguez a lot lately. About making you take medicine. I heard him say something about making you sleep forever. My blood ran cold. What exactly did you hear? They were in the kitchen counting money. Dr. Rodriguez said he could give you pills that would make your heart stop, but it would look like you just got old and died. Murder. Premeditated, cold-blooded murder. And they were discussing it in front of a 9-year-old child. Sophie, listen to me very carefully. Don't tell anyone we talked, okay? And if your daddy ever tries to give me medicine, you run and hide. Don't let him see you watching. Why? What's going to happen? Everything's going to be okay, but I need you to be very brave for a little while longer. Can you do that? I think so. Grandpa, I love you. The words hit me like a sledgehammer. This innocent child, showing more kindness and courage than any of the adults in her life. I love you too, baby. Now go back to bed before your daddy wakes up. For the next 3 days, I documented everything. Marcus's conversations with Dr. Rodriguez about falsifying medical records. His discussions with Tracy about selling the ranch and disappearing to Costa Rica. His mother-in-law, Helen, counting the stolen pension money like she was Scrooge McDuck. I recorded Dr. Rodriguez agreeing to provide lethal drugs for $15,000. Recorded Marcus explaining how he'd been grinding up sleeping pills and putting them in Ronnie's water, keeping him weak and disoriented. But the evidence I really needed came Friday night. Marcus was in the barn with his drinking buddy, Carl Thompson. Both of them half drunk on whiskey. I had my voice recorder pressed against the wall, catching every word. Sunday's the big day, Marcus slurred. Family barbecue, everyone watching. Dad signs the papers, transfers everything to me. Clean and legal, no questions. What if the old man won't sign? He doesn't have a choice. I've got $750,000 in life insurance on him, plus the $4.2 million for the ranch. Dr. Rodriguez will say it was heart failure. Natural causes. Happens all the time to men his age. You sure this is going to work? Marcus laughed, a sound like gravel in a cement mixer. He's been more dead than alive for years anyway. I'm just finishing what time started. Besides, who's going to miss him? His brother Bobby won't even talk to him. I had to grip the recorder to keep from putting my fist through the wall. This was my twin brother they were talking about. The man who'd saved my life in Vietnam, who'd worked 14-hour days to build this ranch into something beautiful. What about the kid? Sophie's pretty attached to the old man. Kids forget. Give her a new bike, she'll get over it. Hell, with $4 million in the bank, I can buy her whatever she wants. And your wife's okay with all this? Tracy's the one who suggested the insurance policy, says it's just business, nothing personal. Smart woman, my Tracy. Knows how to think with her head instead of her heart. I had enough. More than enough. Sunday would be the end of Marcus Mitchell's reign of terror. But first, I needed to make sure Ronnie and Sophie would be safe when the hammer came down. Sunday morning came with the sound of cars pulling into the driveway. I watched through the crack in the shed door as Marcus's extended family arrived for the barbecue. Tracy's relatives, some neighbors, Marcus's drinking buddies. About 25 people total, all here to witness what they thought was a simple property transfer. Marcus came to the shed around noon, carrying a clean shirt and a battery-powered razor. "Clean yourself up, old man. Family's here, and you're going to make a good impression." I shaved off Ronnie's scraggly beard and put on the shirt. When I looked in the small mirror Marcus handed me, I saw my brother staring back, gaunt, hollow-eyed, but recognizable. "Remember," Marcus said, his voice low and threatening, "you smile, you sign the papers, and you keep your mouth shut. One word about any of this fantasy nonsense you've been spouting, and Sophie has an accident. Understand? The threat against Sophie was the final straw." I nodded, keeping my expression blank. Let him think he'd won. The backyard was set up like a country festival. Picnic tables loaded with food, a barbecue pit smoking with brisket, coolers full of beer. Marcus had even hired a local band. Nothing says legitimate family gathering like live music and plenty of witnesses. Marcus led me to a table where legal documents were spread out. Transfer of deed, power of attorney, we're leaving everything to him. All waiting for a signature. "Folks," Marcus announced to the crowd, raising his beer bottle, "my daddy wants to make sure this ranch stays in good hands when he's gone. Isn't that right, Dad?" I looked around at the faces watching me. Some looked curious, others uncomfortable. A few seemed to know something wasn't right but weren't sure what. "I have something to say first," I announced, my voice carrying across the yard. Marcus's smile faltered. "Dad, just sign the, I'm not your dad." The yard went quiet. People stopped eating, put down their drinks, turned to stare. I stood up slowly, let my posture straighten, dropped the defeated act. "My name is Bobby Mitchell. I'm Ronnie's twin brother, and for the past week, I've been documenting every crime this man has committed." Marcus's face went white as bone. "What the hell are you?" I pulled out my phone, connected it to the portable speaker he'd set up for the band, hit play. Marcus's voice filled the backyard, clear as a church bell. He's been more dead than alive for years anyway. "I'm just finishing what time started." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone dropped a plate. Dr. Rodriguez tried to slip away toward the parking area, but Tracy's Uncle Carl grabbed his arm. "I have recordings of conspiracy to commit murder," I announced. "Financial exploitation totaling over $350,000, bribery of a medical professional, elder abuse, and attempted fraud which all of you just witnessed." The recording kept playing. Marcus talking about the insurance money, the fake heart attack, the sleeping pills in Ronnie's water. Every damning word documented in crystal clarity. Marcus lunged at me, probably figuring he could beat me down and claim I was some crazy imposter. 30 years of police training kicked in. I sidestepped, let him stumble past, grabbed his arm and twisted it behind his back. He hit the ground hard, face first in the potato salad. That's when I heard the sirens. Detective Campbell and 4 patrol units came rolling up the driveway like the cavalry in an old Western movie. Bobby Mitchell, Dallas PD retired. I called out, hands visible, badge clipped to my belt. I called this in. Primary suspect is Marcus Mitchell, currently eating dirt by the picnic table. Marcus was cuffed and stuffed into a patrol car within 5 minutes. Dr. Rodriguez, too, blubbering about how he never actually gave anyone any pills. Tracy tried to claim she didn't know anything about the murder plot, but I had recordings of her counting stolen money. The crowd stood around with their phones out, recording everything. This was going to be all over East Texas social media within the hour. Good. Let everyone see what Marcus Mitchell really was. 8 months later, I sat in the courtroom as Judge Harrison read the verdicts. Marcus Mitchell, guilty on 6 felony counts, including conspiracy to commit murder, elder abuse, and financial exploitation. Sentenced to 12 years in Huntsville State Prison, eligible for parole in 8. Dr. Rodriguez got 5 years for conspiracy and accepting bribes. Tracy got 3 years for financial fraud. Her mother Helen got 18 months as an accessory. The $350,000 Marcus had stolen was recovered and returned to Ronnie's accounts. The $4.2 million oil lease deal went through, with Ronnie as the legitimate owner. Most importantly, Ronnie got permanent custody of Sophie. Marcus was declared an unfit parent, and Tracy would be in prison until Sophie turned 12. I moved back to Mitchell County, bought a small place about 10 minutes from the ranch. Ronnie needed help adjusting to freedom after 3 years in captivity, and Sophie needed stability after watching her family implode. 6 months after the trial, the three of us were sitting on Ronnie's front porch, watching Sophie play in the yard with the golden retriever we'd gotten her for Christmas. She was laughing, running around like a normal kid, finally getting to be a normal kid. "I lost 3 years of my life to that boy," Ronnie said quietly, watching his granddaughter. "But you got the rest of your life back," I replied, "and Sophie's safe." "That's what matters," he nodded. "You saved us both, Bobby. I don't know how to repay that. Family doesn't keep score." The oil pumps kept working in the distance, steady and reliable. The ranch was alive again, profitable again, safe again, and Sophie had a grandfather who loved her, not a father who saw her as collateral damage in his get-rich-quick scheme. Sometimes justice takes time. Sometimes it takes courage. And sometimes it takes a brother willing to risk everything for family. In the end, that's all we really have, the people we choose to protect and the principles we refuse to compromise. Listen, I spent 30 years as a cop, and this case taught me something important. The most dangerous predators aren't strangers breaking into your house. They're the ones already sitting at your dinner table. Elder abuse happens in families that look normal from the outside. If you see warning signs in your own family or community, don't wait for someone else to act. Trust your instincts, document everything, and get law enforcement involved before it's too late. Because sometimes the only thing standing between a vulnerable person and disaster is someone willing to step up and do what's right, even when it's hard.